Welcome to the Los Culeros podcast, where the arrows fly straight and the conversations stay real. We're your hosts, Jose Jara and Josh Peña. We're just a couple of everyday guys with a growing love for the archery, the outdoors, and the journey that comes with both. By no means are we pros or veterans, but we're all in. Whether you're new to the bow or have years under your belt, you're welcome here. This podcast is all about sharing stories, learning from guests, and building a community around the sport we've grown to love. So grab your bow, lace up your boots, and join us as we dive into archery, hunting, and life, one shot at a time.
Yeah, this is a whole fucking podcast on just that game.
Yeah.
And I've only been playing for like a week.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking Arc Raiders, man. That game's fucking badass.
I was like, fucking, my wife's like, you feel proud of yourself, fucking 40 years old and playing video games? Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
like,
feel pretty cool right now.
I always pick something up during the break, and then like I always drop off like after the holiday break. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the first game that I'm like, I want to play it.
Yeah.
I want to keep playing it.
Yeah.
It's pretty
It's all
fun.
mad because he's at work and I'm at home playing.
I'm like, damn it. But anyways,
cool.
we're back with Josh and Chewy here. Wanted to get into another topic kind of similar to what we had on the last one.
Part
And
two. Is it do a part two?
Part
basically it's part two. And it kind of correlates with what we were talking about last week. And
It's number
we're talking
30,
about,
the sequel. Social media
Influence.
Oh,
good gear versus gear addiction, you
Yeah.
know, and it kind of like where do you draw the line, and are you just chasing that like rush like we're talking about with the video game where we're just looting and trying to get cool new shit, or like what actually helps improve your game, right? Because we all started at the bottom and we kind of worked our way up, and I mean, we all got stories on how we first started, and there were people showing up and we were competing neck and neck, or sometimes even beating people that had way more expensive equipment than what we had at the time. And then you start to get into this hobby a little more, it gets a little more intense, and then you start picking up new gear, and I guess what I wanted to get into is like, what does that correlate, or what does that do for your archery experience? For me, when I first started, it was pretty cool to like not spend a whole lot of money on a bow and go out there and shoot and just put that time behind it and to get better, and then see the results kind of speak for themselves. Josh, you got a similar experience?
Yeah, man. I mean, I started off with the basics, honestly. I at my PSC brute force. Wasn't a brute force; it was a drive. I wanted the brute force.
Yeah.
$700 setup, full complete setup.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought some cheap arrows. I think they're like Warriors.
Yeah.
First arrow I ever shot, I broke it, but it was all basic stuff.
Mhm.
It wasn't nothing fancy. Everything just came with the bow and untuned. I watched a couple of videos and just started tuning in myself, man. And
Yeah.
then I went up against what we now know is one of the top shooters in
Mhm.
this city, and went neck to neck with him
Right.
with the basic setup. So
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just I've always had basic stuff, man. Just
Yeah.
there was no reason to have. I just at that point in time I couldn't afford it either.
Right.
But I was good with just old freaking
I think
You know.
at the time it was just the excitement of getting into it, right?
yeah. So it'd be like old army,
Mhm.
freaking camouflage, and or Walmart camouflage.
Yeah.
It was nothing crazy. Buck knives, there was nothing that was super fancy. I think my gloves, my dad paid like $2 for my gloves
Yeah.
back then. He still has them. They're orange
Yeah.
Yeah.
leather gloves. They don't fucking work. My hands are still cold, but yeah, I mean, just the basic stuff, dude. And shit still got done.
Yeah,
It ain't no
heck yeah.
different from. I mean, today I'm able to buy a little bit more expensive stuff,
Mhm.
but I don't buy based on the price.
Yeah.
I look at the warranty,
Yeah.
because if I only got to buy it once,
Yeah.
it's
buy
a no brainer.
What is it? Buy once, cry once
Yeah.
type
Yep.
of situation
Is
there.
it buy one what?
Cry once.
Oh,
Yeah.
I cry all the time.
Cry for a couple days
Yeah,
after I
cry,
made
yeah.
the purchase, but yeah.
And
So I
it
guess
goes away.
I guess that
It
starts.
just goes away.
Yeah, it does eventually.
Yeah.
I guess we could start there. What was your first setup?
As far as what?
Your like archery setup. You
The
remember?
archery setup?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just everything that came on the PSC.
Yeah. So
a
it was
PSC drive
ready to
bar.
shoot.
Yeah.
PSC
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah, it was a PSC drive, 2016 PSC drive in the Stalwarts camo. It had just a ready to shoot package.
Hell yeah.
So the quiver, everything was on there.
Mm-hmm.
My brother still has that bow. But yeah, it's just the way it came out of the factory. The way they put it together. It's what I had.
Right.
And dude, that fucking bow.
Yeah.
The amount of time I put into
That's
shooting
it.
that thing.
Yeah.
I hit a dime at 60 yards, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem. And
yeah.
it was just, it shot beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have never changed, but it is what it is.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Do you remember what your setup was when you first started? Joey?
The PSC Evoke.
PSC Evo. Yeah.
Oh, the
Evo
Evoke?
or Evoke. Yeah.
Yeah. Evoke.
Evoke
And all that
35.
was handed down from you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've never had a brand new bow. Brand new to me.
Yeah.
But everything was handed down. You got me some arrows, and then I got some arrows off Amazon.
Yeah.
Tried it. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna try these. And before I knew anything,
Yeah.
I'm glad I did, because I lost a lot of arrows
Yeah.
and broke a lot of arrows.
Man, the archery shop loved me when I first got into archery.
So
I was in there every other week buying arrows.
the only thing I did with that is I actually messed up the strings by laying it on a piece of wood, and it started fraying a little bit. So changed those out, and then I started. I went with Easton. You got me the first Eastons.
Yeah.
After that, I was just kind of liked Easton.
Yeah.
After
They're
that,
pretty good. And that's something else too. Like when we first got into it, I remember my first bow was a Obsession Evolution in the snow camo, and I didn't know any better, and I kept it in the trunk of my car, and I had a little Ford Taurus, and man, left it in there, like I left it in there through the summer. So I'd take it to work with me, leave it in the trunk, and then go shoot after.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy at the shop was like, "Hey man, you shouldn't do that. You should not do that." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, it's a lot of tension on that bow, and it gets pretty hot in there, and then you take it out, and then you start shooting it, and then it cools off, and it's not good for the limbs."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "All right, well, what do I do?" And he's like, "Well, don't store it in your trunk." And I'm like, "Well, I want to shoot it every day when I get off of work." He's like, "Well, leave it here at the shop then." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that." But I remember the same situation. One of my buddies had that bow, and he was upgrading, and I was able to get that one off of him, traded for a generator, and then it was just a bare bow. And then I remember going on eBay and finding a Spot Hog bulletproof 7-pin sight, and put that on there, and then QAD rest used off of the consignment shelf at Rockin' R, and then walked in there, and I'm like, "I need some arrows for this," and got me the arrows. And then he was like, "Have you tried drawing that thing back?" And I was like, "Nope." Well, not there yet. I need to get a release, and this was like a couple of months, because I remember bought the bow, and then had to wait a couple of paychecks, got the sight, I waited a couple of paychecks, got the release, waited a couple of paychecks, got some arrows. And then when I go to start, figuring out how to use it, it was the wrong draw length, and it was 70 pounds. And the guy was like, "Hey man, you never pulled the bow back?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You should have went with 60. I was like, shit. All right. And I remember drawing back and smacking my forearm immediately after that. And then I was like, "I don't know about this."
Yeah.
But, I just kind of fell in love with it. And I'm kind of like Josh, man, I should have just stayed with that and kept shooting more consistent instead of trying to, chase the new best
The
thing.
new high on it.
Yeah.
Every year he says
Every
that.
year.
Every year.
he says
Every year.
that.
I'm like,
Well, see, I'm
man.
glad that happens like that, because then I got a new bow
Yeah.
from him again.
Yeah.
But
see, what you don't understand is that you only get that bow if I say so.
that is true.
Yeah,
So thank you.
Josh
Thank
calls
you on
dibs.
that. Yeah.
Every time I get a new bow, he's like, "Dibs." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What?" He's like, "Well, in case you sell it." Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
fucking
all right."
Mike almost beat me this last time.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, PSC came out with a new boat. You gonna sell your old one? So hey, I go, that's mine first.
It was literally like in the first sentence. But and Mike was there at High Desert when I was looking at that Mach 33. So he said, "You're gonna get it," and I was like, "Nah." He said, "You're gonna get it." Nah,
I didn't know you already.
I was like, "I did something." But
oops.
But yeah, there's definitely some improvements that archery's made, equipment's made over the like past couple of years. We see it in the rests, and most of the improvements aren't really noticeable as far as like shooting. It's more durability, right? And like Josh was saying, I try to make my purchases based on their warranty or their reviews. And that's something that we're talking about last episode, is how does that influence what you buy and don't buy. Like I started watching John Dudley, my best friend that we hang out all the time, pretty early on into this archery stuff, and started watching his the School of Knock, and episode 1, episode 2, 3, and then just kind of going through that, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and then so obviously whenever he put something for sale, I'm like, I want it, you know. So there for a while I had like the Knock on hat and t-shirt and release and quiver and everything he made. I'm like, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things where it's like, all right, well, if it's good for him and he's a fucking badass, it's gonna be good for me. It doesn't necessarily translate that way all the time.
I think we need to start tagging him until he responds to us.
Yeah, episode
or put a restraining order.
Or a restraining order, but that's still a response.
Yeah, it's a response. It's a very strong response.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I didn't know anything about John Dudley or any of his accomplishments. I really still don't.
He doesn't mean that, John.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. To me, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I mean, and then he had all this deer and stuff, and then you have it, and then freaking Hada 2.0, Justin has it. Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, well, he's got his own brand. He must be good enough to do something, and he's got to have done something to get that kind of endorsement. Yeah. But I don't know where his accolades are. I don't know anything about.
Yeah, he's an Olympic archer. He was on a bunch of the U.S. teams. And then he stopped competing when they moved his event into September, because that interfered with elk.
Yeah.
So at that point he was like, you know what, I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in the competitive world, and I'm going to focus on hunting. And he grew up on the circuit, so he was doing all of the the Vegas and all those shoots, and then he was also working very close with Carter whenever they first started out. So he was selling releases for him. So he's been in like the not only the competitive world, but also like the engineering and marketing of the stuff. So and he's just a coach. Like, yeah, I think first and foremost, that's what he is now, is he likes to teach people, and he likes to try to grow the sport of archery. And that's kind of what drew me into him, is like, he puts all that out there, and it's like, it's pretty cool.
Surprised he doesn't wear my merch.
Yeah.
It sounds like me and John Dudley have a lot in common.
Yeah, you guys are both tall.
Yeah.
Tall, yeah. So with...
I also don't have any underwear on.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, I was checking.
Yeah.
Can't tell.
Can't tell.
So now that he went over to Hoyt, he went to Hoyt, right?
Yeah.
Or is that gonna change your
that
position
on feelings?
It did Hoyt my feelings. And it's one of the things too, is like when Hoyt's always been on my radar.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, the very
the guy's been shooting PSC for the last 10 years. Hoyt's been on my radar.
Check it out. The very first time that I heard about compound bows was on I don't know if you guys remember, it might be giving my age away to everybody, but there used to be this thing called magazines, right? And I have a buddy, Ray, and
Cameron Haynes,
every year for like Christmas, my birthday, Hanukkah, Easter, he would get me a subscription to Maxim.
Yeah.
It's I used to get it for the articles.
For the articles,
I had a very good articles in there. But one of the episodes, one of the magazines, they had article on Cameron Hanes, and kind of like the ultimate mountain man kind of article about he goes out in the woods and he's hunting these animals that are like twice his size and majestic Rocky Mountain elk and all this stuff, and it was an article trying to promote this new like the most advanced compound bow the world had seen, and it was the Hoyt Carbon Spider. And I was like, damn, that thing's pretty sweet. At the time, I'm just like a regular grunt at work, and my boss is into hunting, so I was telling him like, yeah, man, I heard this Cameron Hanes guy, and he's like, you shoot archery? He's like, yeah, I hunt with a bow. And I'm like, what bow do you got? He goes, well, actually, I'm picking one up this weekend. I'm getting the Hoyt Carbon Spider. I'm like, no shit. And he's like, yeah. And so the very first time I saw a compound bow, and it was that one, and I was like, damn, that's pretty badass. But it was way out of my price range. I remember back then it was the Hoyt Carbon Spider. Maxima Reds were like the badass arrow. QAD was top of the line, and Spot Hog, the sights were like the shit. And you had to have a Scott release that was like top of the line stuff. And so I kind of like watching him talk about it and seeing that, and I'm like, that's gonna be badass. But it was way above my pay grade. I ended up with the bow and that obsession, and then it got stolen. And when it got stolen, the guy at the Rick at the bow shop, he's like, hey man, I'll work with you on getting you a new one. He's like, you're really into this, and I see that you really enjoy it, and he's like, I'll help you. And I was like, well, I don't need help, man. I mean, I got it. Just take me some time to save up and get a new one. He's like, no, that's not what I meant, but I'll hook you up. I'll give you a little bit of a discount. And I was like, I'll let you know. And they ended up getting, at that time, they only carried Elite and PSE. So I ended up shooting both, and I fell in love with the draw cycle in the PSE. And I really wanted to shoot a Matthews and a Hoyt, but at the time it wasn't really that big. And the only time I had ever gone out and like try to get behind a bow was at Cabela's. And I remember going to Cabela's and asked them if they had Hoyt or Matthews, and they're like, "Nah, man, this is not that kind of place." And I was like, I didn't understand what that meant. But I mean, I do now, but I didn't back then. I was like, what do you mean you don't have it? Like, I thought you could go to Walmart and buy, a Hoyt or a Matthews, and nope, it's like shop specific, and only certain shops had it. And back then, it was a lot more exclusive, I think, to get into that.
Cabela's has a lot of like starter bows, and they do have a Matthews. It's just not a Matthews.
Mission.
It's a Mission.
Yeah. He did tell me that.
Bowtech has Diamond. Bear Archery has some there too, but. Yeah, it's just like there's not that those bows are not as good. They're just they're built different.
And do you think that changes the opinion? Like when you go to buy, like you like, I don't want to be like, is it like kind of like the
look down on? Or
something? like when you go to school and your first day of school and people are wearing Nikes and you're wearing the N1s and you're like, oh man.
I mean, if you're getting into this, I always tell people, bro, like anybody that asks me like, hey, how do I get into it?
Yeah.
I'll tell them, start with a low budget bow.
Dude.
That's the best thing you can do. And you're going to work out your form and any kind of mistakes you can, if you can shoot well with a low budget bow, then, improving or getting a higher grade bow, as long as you keep doing the same work, it's going to be even better.
Yeah, and it never fails, man. I've talked to some people and oh man, I want to try it. I want to get into it. And what bow do you shoot? And I'm like, man, I would not recommend you spend what I spend on a bow to start into it. First of all, it's going to be crazy expensive, and it's going to make you feel a certain way about the sport. So start with something.
I think that's the biggest misconception of it, is that archery is expensive. It can be, but it's expensive to start into if you start at the top.
Yeah,
unless I would think I would ever pay as much for a bow as what you have.
Yeah,
because I don't mean carbon's nice, but I don't know. I can't pull a trigger on something like that personally.
That's a very valid comment, Josh. But if you're my wife, it is very expensive to get into archery. I mean, you just that's just the way it is. I mean,
no, they're sponsored by us.
Yeah.
So it's not expensive to them at all.
Yeah.
My wife is proud to be sponsored by me.
Yeah.
She's a proud sponsor.
No, but that's definitely one of the things. I mean, it's like everything. It's like every hobby, and
Yeah.
you can start, and then you can definitely see like, okay, this is for me. I can see myself doing this in the fall. I can see myself going on a hunt. I can see myself shooting 3D and ASA and all this stuff. Then you're like, okay, how do I maximize the enjoyment out of this? And of course, better draw cycle, smoother cams, brighter pins, faster drop away, nicer arrows, all that stuff makes an impact on how much you enjoy it. But it doesn't necessarily define, the experience that you can have.
Mhm.
You can have the same experience, going to Cabela's and buying a Mission or a Genesis or Diamond, whatever that is, and you can still enjoy yourself just as much as having a Matthews.
Yeah,
And
man.
that's one of the things that I use an analogies of cars when it comes to archery. You don't want your first car to be a Lamborghini. It's not one of those things where it's like it might be too much car for you, man. And you don't know how to drive that kind of car. It could fucking hurt you.
Yeah.
And or you could make a bad decision and end up wrecking it, and it's a lot more expensive to fix.
It's a pricey, yeah.
And it's once you get into it and you start to develop a good routine and a good habit, and you're in a good situation where it's like, all right, I'm gonna pull the trigger on something a little nicer. I do recommend going to a pro shop just because they're a little bit more knowledgeable. The people at Cabela's and like Big Five and all them, they do their best and they try, but they're not dealing with archery all day every day. They're dealing with fishing gear and Yetis and tumblers and everything else that comes in there, baseball, soccer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Archery shop is definitely a lot more informed.
Okay, so if you're to get a bow at, say, Cabela's, one of the starter bows, a cheaper end one, if you go to a pro shop, are they going to look at you different, or are they going to treat you the same?
No.
Or is
not any of the shops that I've been to. They
think-
value everybody.
I think
the same.
it's a shop to shop type of deal, man. Because there's some shops that are like, well, if you didn't buy it here, I'm not going to work on it. It's like, nah. Most of the shops, like he said, the ones I've been to, here in southern New Mexico, even Arizona, they don't care where you got the bow from. They just care that you're shooting.
that you're shooting?
Yeah.
And I've heard some crazy stories about like, well, I'll pull it off the shelf, but it's a $25 handling fee or some shit. And then they'll charge you to, I'll have to put it to your draw length, so I'm gonna have to charge you to do that. And it's like, what? Really?
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't see that happening a whole lot nowadays, especially now that, like we were talking about earlier with social media, and people can leave a review and kind of share their experience of that place. And sometimes, man, if you're an asshole and you treat people like shit, they're gonna fucking let you know.
That one bad review or even a good review, hundreds or thousands of people are gonna watch it, and then it's gonna be like, if you're barely getting into it, you're like, well, I don't want to go to that shop because they're dicks there.
Yeah.
So
and then there's some shops they don't know how to work on other brands because they don't have them. So I mean, they just tell you straight out like, I can't work on that.
Yeah.
Most of the times
like
they'll
no
recommend
crossbow.
somebody.
Yeah.
They'll tell you like, oh man, I would try here, I would try there.
Yeah, because I mean, even me myself, dude, I'm kind of skeptical when it comes to like working on people's shit. It's like because it's always it's like reloading somebody's bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I know how to do it, but I don't want to do it for you.
Yeah.
'Cause if something goes wrong, that's my ass on the
Yeah.
line. But it's just one of those things.
Dude, I have a lot of respect for the Bowtechs out there, like in shops, because I always fucking like when I'm working on something, like I don't like people watching me do it, and like I'll go to the shop and I'm just there looking at them like, hi, hi.
Nah, bro.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you doing it right?
I'll ask. I was like, do you mind if I watch you, man, so I can learn how to do that?
Yeah.
But I also know so much now that it's like, fuck, I'm gonna have to redo that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been there.
But if I know that somebody, just in the way they talk about the bow and how they work with it, you can tell if they know more than you or not. And there's been a few shops where I was like, I'm gonna have to retie that D loop. I'm gonna have to retie that peep sight.
Yeah, and a lot of it's preference too.
Yeah, and I mean, It's like a peep twist, man. I was in a shop, and I won't mention the shop's name, and it's nowhere near here, but I still won't mention it. But I had a peep rotation, and I told him, it's not set right, man. He's all right. I'll be right back. I told my wife, I said, he's just gonna turn my D loop. That's all he's gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went out of the range, and then came right back. I was like, "There's no way in fucking hell you put that on the press."
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, "Check that out, man." And I did. I was like, I pulled it back, and it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nothing wrong with it. It was perfect. And then what happens is you don't tighten that D loop in that spot. It's just gonna rotate back, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
but I knew exactly what he had done because he there's no way he didn't have time to put on the press.
That's a good point too, because
it's kind of like placebo effect me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah.
Like, no, dude, I know my shit.
Yeah,
but
not
everybody does.
Any good reputable shop, whenever you got some peep twist and you tell them, they'll put it in the press and they'll give it a half a turn or half a twist or whatever. The ones that don't know any better, what they'll do is if it's leaning to the left, they'll move your D loop to the right a little bit, so that when you yank on it, it lines it up.
It pulls it
but
straight.
It's eventually you're yanking on it that way. It's gonna move
back
the D loop.
Yeah,
and so it's a quick fix. Yeah, and in a pinch, yeah, man, go ahead and do that. But it's not a permanent solution. You're putting a Band-Aid on something that you could fix. Just takes a little bit of time, you know.
Yeah, and it's just press. I mean, putting it on the press, it takes some time to do it. You know, like if you want a full, like a big movement out of your peep, you're gonna twist the top.
Yeah,
and if you only need like half or maybe a little bit, you'll twist the bottom in any direction you need to go. But they say that if you twist the bottom, you gotta twist the top. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just know that my shit wasn't. It was aligned, but it was because the D loop, which it ended up twisting anyways.
Yeah,
but I want to try to get a draw board.
Yeah,
so
when
I do get new strings, I can stretch them out overnight and be done with it.
Yeah.
Speaking, going back to our topic though on you know, good versus what'd you say, good gear versus addiction.
Yeah.
Do you find like the gear that you buy is based on influence by who's running it? I know you have a lot of knock on stuff.
Yeah. So for me, at first, since I didn't know a whole lot of about archery, like, you know, I didn't know what a good cam felt like. I hadn't been shooting a bunch of cams, so I would turn to John Dudley or Chris B or Dan from Alex Shape, MFJJ, and kind of look at their reviews and kind of see what they were leaning into, and kind of, okay, well, if they say that's good and if they say that's bad, then that's gotta be bad and that's gotta be good. But you know, a lot of it is feel. A lot of it is feel, and a lot of it too depends on your style, how you draw back, where you anchor, how long you stay in the shot. You know, a lot of that's that, and I've come to look at it a little bit more now, and you know, it's one of those things where it's like, shot a couple of different bows, and there wasn't a huge difference. I will say what's the ones that have intrigued me as of late, and it's been the same thing. Like, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Darton. You know, I never considered Darton in the past. And for me, it was always the big three. It was Matthews, PSE, and Hoyt. You know, for me, it was also, those are the three biggest names. And it's you know, Chris B and Matthews, Cameron Haynes with Hoyt, and John Dudley with PSE. You know, and I liked what John Dudley was doing, so I gravitated towards that equipment. And now that, you know, everything's been kind of turned sideways with everyone kind of going towards Matthews, and how popular that's gotten, because they have a huge marketing team, and they do a very good job of explaining things and putting out videos, and, you know, getting people to follow that. But in a sense, a lot of it is like trucks, you know, like the GMC guys and the Chevy guys and the Toyota guys and Ford guys. You know, it's like, it's one of those things. Yeah, we all look at Josh like, oh, yeah. But
that's why we're on the other side of the table.
But it's one of those things, you know, where it's like,
that's the same reason why Joe Rogan was so far from Mike Tyson, bro.
Yeah, but it goes to that. It's you know, like I shot a couple of different bows last year, and I really wanted to like the Hoyt. I didn't, and I don't know what it was about it. And the Matthews was really fucking smooth, but I kind of was like, nah, I still wanna be a C.
Yeah. But the thing is too, man, like, and I saw this early on because it's like, oh, so and so shoots this, oh, so and so shoots that,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, like Levi Morgan, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's not the bow.
Yeah, we're all chasing the results, but it's not.
It's not the bow.
Not the
this
equipment.
motherfucker's like, I don't know, like 16-time world champion.
Yeah.
It's not the bow because he did it with Elite, did it with fucking Hoyt, he did it Hoyt, did it with Matthews. It's not the bow. It's him.
Yeah.
And he says, I've always shot the same arrow, same exact arrow.
Yeah.
He's just tuning the bow to that and to his liking. So it's not the brand itself. It's what you do with the bow.
And it's a lot of that. It's them guys, them top tier guys, they're not chasing a brand. They're chasing a feeling.
Yeah.
Like the way that this feels, the way that feels, the way that this equipment handles versus that equipment. I mean, you can put a pawn shop bow in any of those guys' hands and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because they know what it's supposed to feel like. And
but the thing is, like, if you take, because I mean, they're paid to fucking, you know, to say what they need to say. And I think that's a major difference too. Because, like, if you put Levi Morgan's bow in John Dudley's hand, or vice versa, it's like, oh yeah, I don't like this.
Dude, we saw that firsthand in Reynoso last year.
With who?
With the gentleman that had freaking his bow.
Levi's bow?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
The guy did
it was actual Levi Morgan's bow.
Yeah, he did a mount for him, and he gave him his bow.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't like the Midas touch. It wasn't the equipment. He went out there and he shot just like I think he missed his first target.
Yeah.
You know, broken arrow like on the practice range, and it's like, so it's not the equipment.
Yeah.
Definitely not the
equipment.
equipment.
Not the equipment, man. It's the time you put behind it. You know, it's with anything. But like coaching these kids, I got to figure out a way to make the bow fit them because they all shoot the same bow, but they're not all shooting the same.
Yeah.
You know, you have different draw lengths, you have different weights. There's a lot of variables to it. Now, if I can make it fit them, and not be a universal thing, I think they would shoot a lot better. And that's just time behind the bow.
Yeah, and it's like the same kind of situation with like go karts. Like you go to the go kart track and they're all the same car.
I always get the slowest one, bro.
Right? One of those things where it's like
what are you doing? Blowing an invisible dick?
I did it with one hand.
Was it an Asian?
Yeah, it was a little Asian.
But you know, it goes to that. It's like there's definitely some truth to the equipment, but for the most part, they're almost all the same. You know, and it goes to that. Like we've all done it. Like, you know, when you know, you and your buddy get like the same remote control car for Christmas, and you're like, let's race them. You know,
and one's
like,
always faster.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. And then you start messing with it and try to make it lighter or faster, or you know, whatever it is. But it comes down to that. I think what you were touching on a little bit earlier is pretty cool too. And it's like one of those subjects where it's like, are they really? You know, they get a big paycheck from Matthews or from Bowtech or from Elite, and are they going to say it's a smooth cycle because of that, or are they being honest with you?
Right.
And is it a smooth cycle? Would they be more inclined to tell the truth if they weren't sponsored?
Yeah,
you know, and that's one of the things that, you know, I kind of liked about MFJJ is that he seemed like he was unbiased, but like last couple of videos that he's posted, he's a little biased, you know, and it's like, man, really? Like, here we go, you know, but definitely it's an opinion and something that you got to just take as that, as an opinion. You know?
There's certain things that there's certain like brands that it's like, I'm not going to do that. And it's like a stink to them, bro. It's not that the brand itself is bad. It's just that
it's like a stigma
that comes with
it. Like a
it's
stigma, like they suck. They're gay.
Fucking Sitka, fucking Cooey. You know, it's like, I mean, and I've seen it
6'5" Creemore.
Yeah, I just talk shit because George. George loves that damn thing. But I haven't heard everything's shot placement.
Everything.
Placement. It's like here, it's just shot placement, bro. Yeah, I get it. My grandpa told me too. You can kill an elk with a 22. You just gotta hit him in the eye. Yeah, shot placement. So you can kill whatever with whatever.
It's a
you
good strategy.
Have a good shot.
You know, but I think what it comes down to is you want to stack the deck in your favor. Like whenever you're out, you know, on the 3D course or in ASA or any kind of competition, you want to have the advantage.
Yeah.
And there's definitely, you know, there's some new strategies on how to get there. You can have a super smooth cycle and a easy to hold bow, and you might lose a little bit of feet per second, but it's a lot more steady, a lot more stable. And it's like, okay, is that what you prefer, or do you want to give some of that away, some of that forgiveness and some of that, steadiness to gain some feet per second, so you can, have a smaller pin gap, a smaller sight tape, shoot longer distances. It's like a give and take. You can't have it all.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but it takes some manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a fast bow and it's so, you could always build a lighter arrow.
Mm-hmm.
But with a lighter arrow, you're not going to get enough kinetic energy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors to it, man. So
yeah,
you can
only go so light, though.
Yeah, but you can have a smooth drawing bow. You can have the speed, but it's like that triangle, right?
Yeah.
You can have two, but you can't have the other one.
Yeah.
You can have whatever two you want, but the other one's that
you can have it's fast, steady, and what do we say the third one would probably be? Accurate. Steady, it's fast and accurate. You can have a fast, steady bow, but it's not going to be fast. You can have a fast.
It's not to be accurate.
Yeah, but it's that kind of logic.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where.
But I mean, you can have all the feeling in the world in that bow, but it's not just the bow. It's fucking everything you have on it.
Yeah.
The weight. If you're doing longer stabilizers, whatever weight you're running on the front or back, the weight of the sight, the weight of the quiver, the weight of your arrows, it all matters. So the bow might feel great by itself, but once you add all the factors in the hunting shit, it could be a totally different. My bow, dude, I picked it up the other day. That thing is fucking heavy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I think somebody injected it with something, but
it was me.
It was heavy, dude.
It was me. The last bow shoot.
Damn it. Yeah, that's what it was.
Like some extra fat in there.
No, but it's just one of those things where if you look at the bow, it has a lot of shit on there, but it's not really that much weight, but it's like each item, it all adds up.
Yeah, and
it could be, I don't know, maybe 3 pounds of attachments, but when you're holding it at full arm's length by itself, yeah. It's like that old punishment manual they used to make you hold the book.
Yeah.
Eventually the book's going to get heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But to have the feeling and all that stuff, there's a lot of variables to it.
Yeah.
It's not the bow itself, it's everything you add to it.
Mm-hmm. You know what's been kind of refreshing is to see that, these archery companies are embracing the more affordable, more economic bows. We had this year with Hoyt come out with something a little bit more affordable, and still has some good features on it, but it's a little bit less pricey. The same thing with Darton and Bear. Bear is one of the MFJJ was doing a review on the Alaskan Pro, and he was talking about how best bang for your buck. It's right here. It's under $1,000, and you're thinking $899 or $950, $989. No, it's $650.
Yeah.
For what you're getting, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what they do with, now that they partnered with Bee Stinger, right? Is it Bee Stinger?
Bee Stinger and Gold Tip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bee Stinger and Gold Tip. So that's gonna be a fucking crazy combo for them. But you see, everybody was super quick to get to the top and be, the above 15, or it was above 1,000, and it was like, man, that was 1,000, and then it was 1,200, and then it was 15, and everyone kind of followed suit to get to where we are now. We're looking at like 1,900 or $2,100 for top of the line bows, and it's like,
that's what's fucking crazy, man. Because when you say that, that's just the bow,
just the bow,
bare
bow.
There's no fucking rest. There's no sight. There's no stabilizer. It's just the bow.
Yep.
I think I paid, I want to say it was 12 or 13 for my Elite.
For the Elite, the Omnia.
Yeah. And it was I think it was a flagship of the year, that one.
Yeah.
But it's a great shooting bow. I haven't, it's been like 2 years. I haven't bought a new one yet, but I was, but again, it's not the bow. I think Bear's always been in that market.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely. When I was up
there
at the headquarters, I did get to hold the Alaskan Pro. There's a one for the ladies too. It's a Deer Mom edition. I forget what the name of the lady is. I don't know if it's Tracy Titus. I don't remember who it is, but it's called Dear Mom. It's a special edition, like an Eva Shockey type.
There you go.
But that's specifically made for women in the sport. But going back to the price point, man, my brother, I bought him a Bear. Is it Cruiser?
Yeah,
I paid like $300 for that thing. Like I went out and smoked a nice 40, tall 40, tall white 40. Smoked them 64 yards, dude. Put it right on the mark.
Yep.
You know, it's just like you don't need a fucking $1,000 bow, really.
Nah, you really don't.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cool. I mean, I have one.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make me shoot any better.
No, it really doesn't, and you know, that's one of the things.
Fuck you, too.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But no, it's one of the things too. And I was gonna get into that. What does it for you? Like, okay, I'm getting a new bow this year, or this is the one. I'm gonna fucking pull the trigger on this one.
Well, did it for me, dude? Because I shot PSC for years, right? And I was out of market in Roswell, and I stopped by Robbie's shop, Kill Shot, and I was like, just went in there. I was like, man, I'm itching to shoot a bow and stuff. I was like, can I shoot one of your bows? He said, yeah, man, we rent them out, whatever. And it was Elite. I remember which one it was. Resolve, maybe. It was a target bow.
Yeah.
And he's just, it's out of tune, man. I was like, so I don't know where it's gonna hit. You have to sight it in. It's like, all right. And they had CDs out there, and took me like 3 shots, dude, just to see where I was hitting. And then I didn't even move the bow. I just started compensating,
aiming,
fucking drilling shit,
yeah,
ping pong balls and everything. And the cycle was so damn smooth and everything. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know it to be different. I only shot PSC. I only shot drives. That's all I tried. I had every drive from 2016 to 2021. Bought them all. They're good bows, but that Elite just
spoke to you.
I'm gonna try Elite. So I got the Omnia that year.
Yeah,
and it's been a great bow.
Yeah, I feel like that's the worst and the best thing you could do is go to the bow shop and shoot different bows, because then you're like, shit, I want this one, or damn, I didn't realize this was this smooth.
Yeah. At the same time, man, like, my very first time shooting a bow after years and years and years, first time shooting a compound bow, I was like, I want this one. I want this one, and I didn't
didn't
have it then. I couldn't afford it at that time.
Yeah.
So we came home, and I went back to Albuquerque for some reason. I didn't have the cash on me when I was there, and I went back to get that bow. That I fell in love with it. I was like, this is a shit. This is my bows and that. And then I shot the drive, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is way different.
Yeah.
Almost the same price. It's like you don't really know. Until you have to shoot them all to know what fits you best.
You know, you said something
like wearing shoes.
You said something that reminded me of something. You're like, I didn't have the money for me at the time. Did you guys ever do that? Like before debit cards, we had like an ATM card. But even before that, like if I didn't want to spend money, I would just leave my money at home. Like, I remember doing that a couple of times. Just I
don't want to spend money. Fucking let you take out like 300 at a time.
Yeah, 300 at a time.
But,
But if I didn't want to spend money, I would I'm gonna leave my money at home. Now you can't do that. Your fucking wallet's on your phone.
Exactly.
Shit. Yeah, no, that's funny.
But it's one of those things too. Like we're talking about, like it's like, to me, it's almost like feeling you get like when you go test drive a car. Yeah. You test drive it, and then you go home, and then you're in your little beater, and you're like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man, that one was fucking badass. And then you're just thinking about it.
I drove my old truck the other day.
My
child, I was like, I love this truck. I'm never gonna get rid of it. And then I got the new truck, and I'm like,
fuck this.
Man, I feel poor.
Yeah.
But no, that's good, man.
You're driving with your hoodie on,
so nobody sees you.
No, I'm still proud of that truck, dude. I had a lot of memories in that. It felt way different. It's all dirty and shit. It's all old. I felt like, honestly, it felt like driving my old Mustang, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, this is a classic now.
Yeah, it is.
It's a classic, and like, take care of it. But
so kind of going back to the influence part thing.
Yeah.
Before I came out here, I was watching Ty Jordan was talking about some the arrows he's going to run for TAC and the Sonic 6.0. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I started looking at them.
He's doing it at the Sonic?
Mm-hmm.
fucking asshole.
Yeah, he switched it up.
Yeah, he's going to the Sonics.
Yeah.
So I started looking at him, and I'm like, and it's funny because we're talking about being influenced or whatever, and just something simple like that. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm looking into the Sonics 6.0, but I'm just like, well,
you want to try them?
I was thinking of trying them.
I have them. That's what I won the truck with.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sonics,
dang.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what he was gonna use for tack, and I was just like, dang.
Yeah. So those are the arrows I built for tack.
Oh shit.
But speaking of that, though, I mean, the FMJ Max.
Yeah.
You know, one of the reasons why I got them is because Ty was shooting them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm an FMJ guy. I like the arrow. It's been a great arrow. I have had the 5mm. I had the 6mm. I don't think I ever had 4. No, if they make them in a 4.
They do make them in a 4. It's a tapered front.
That's right. That's a T64.
Mm-hmm.
I never got those. Cam used to shoot those, but I got the new FMJ Maxes, and I had issues with Ty's wraps last night, but it's just I think it was too cold, bro.
Too cold.
Because once I heated them up, they held great, but it was too cold in my shop. My fireplace wasn't working.
Well, you need to start it and actually load wood in it.
Yeah. I was just throwing gasoline by itself.
That might work.
I lost the hair on my hand. I'm not shitting you. Look at it. It's all bald.
Oh, shit. It really worked.
Yeah, it did. Sorry to cut you off.
Go for it.
Have you ever been like so influenced by somebody that and regretted a purchase? Like, fuck, man, it was cool. I thought it was going to be a good one, and it fucking sucks. Yeah, I mean, because they hyped it up because of the name that it was attached to. He's thinking.
The John Dudley butt plug wasn't what I'm just kidding. It wasn't what I was hoping for.
And that's when the judge signs it.
No,
he's gonna hear it. Yeah, definitely cease and desist. Restraining. Yeah.
You know, I think arrows
it kept falling out.
You know, it didn't work.
I got the extra large, but
you know, I kind of felt that way with the 5.0s, man.
Yeah.
You know, the 5.0s, everyone hyped them up and talked about them, and they're great arrows, man. But it's like we ran into some issues at a couple of events in Las Cruces where like it was, because again, my bow has a lot of kinetic energy. It's super. It has a lot of penetration, and it's very smooth. And so I was breaking arrows inside of the targets, and I was like, man, this sucks.
Were you hitting rebar?
There was one of the times where I didn't think I hit rebar, and I pulled it out, and it was fucking broken. And one of the other times too, this old gentleman that we went with decided to spin my arrow around and break it off inside the target. What the hell are we doing, man? It wouldn't come out. I'm like, cool. He's gonna break it. All right, cool. So there was that, and there's definitely some user error because I'm not 100% all the time. I do miss sometimes when I'm not shooting with Josh. At TAC I broke a couple, and there was like some misses that I felt like with my Easton Access long range, it wouldn't have broke. But on the front of that is the insert, the half out. So
yeah,
I was kind of like confused a little bit. I'm like, man, this kind of sucks. And I think I even talked to Ty about it, and I was telling him like, man, I broke like 4 arrows.
Same issue.
And he was telling me the same thing. He was like,
it's a weak point.
But again, nobody talked about that when they were promoting the arrow.
Right.
MFJJ was like, everyone needs to be shooting this arrow. Ty Jordan was like, this is the best arrow. Alk Shape, this is a good arrow. And then I bought it, and I'm like, yeah, this arrow sucks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I haven't got to shoot the new FMJ. I know it's a lighter GPI, so I'm actually curious. I'm actually gonna crank my bow up a little bit.
Nice.
And probably hit 52 pounds this time. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like, you're influenced by so much of the more popular guys.
Yeah,
shooting
definitely.
certain things or doing certain things a certain way, and it's like, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah. Now
it's
has
like,
go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead. No, it's just the matter of influence is like, no, like you do it and you're like, nah, it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
it's a disappointment.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, has that worked in a different way, like the opposite of that? Like, have you, followed somebody and then they do something in the archery world or hunting that turns you off of that person, And then it's like, you know what? I'm not shooting that anymore. Or I'm not fucking with these guys anymore. You know, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so, some news broke out about Nimrod Archery. And I guess there was some allegations that he was involved in some stuff that wasn't very, very, you know, it was very frowned upon. And he lost a lot of business, a lot of sponsorships, and a lot of people were throwing his stuff out. And it's like, you know, whether it was a good product or it wasn't, that name that was associated with it, it wasn't, you know what, I'm not fucking with this. Yeah. And I think we saw a little bit of that with Bomar.
Yeah.
You know,
with the whole poaching thing, all stuff.
You know, they were like, yeah, I'm not running his stuff anymore. And he came out and talked about it and kind of explained himself. And it was one of those situations where it's like, you don't really know what to believe. And I think he's, you know, been like on a redemption tour for a while. And I think everyone's kind of let it slide. But, you know, there is some stuff where you're like, yeah, F that. And I'm not supporting that company anymore because of the way that they handled the situation.
Yeah. You know? I don't know, man. Like maybe a couple of years ago I would have been like that. Like, nah, I don't like what he said. So fuck him. I'm not gonna do it. But now it's like, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
I see it on Facebook all the time now too. It's like people just want to bitch and complain about things that have nothing to do with them. Or, you know, they have an opinion on something that's just like, all right, cool. But it's like, you don't stop being I'm not going to fucking delete them. You know?
Right.
It's okay. I mean, that's free speech. You get to think whatever, say whatever you want to say and think whatever you want to think. On the opposite side of that, though, you got to be willing to take the criticism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you can't, then you have no business being in that light in the first place. Yeah. But at the same time, if you do have that light, I mean, I would hope that it doesn't get too much of too stressful that you're like, I gotta keep this light by any means necessary.
Yeah,
because then you're gonna get the wrong light.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that like through the years with like people getting caught poaching and people, you know, claiming that they're in public land and they're actually at a high fence or in a high fence or they're in a private land or, you know, and it's the perception.
Be real, man. There's a lot of shit. I mean, there's already fucked up shit in our world already, right? In the archery business and hunting in general. But when you have people that are well respected for being like one of the top names and they get caught fucking up, and it's like, that puts a stink on the rest of us.
Yep. Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, man, it's like if you're that kind of role model, don't slip up. You know what I mean? Don't do some stupid shit that's gonna fucking cause your name.
You know, and it's pretty cool to get like the inside of it when we met Ty. And he talked about that extensively. Yeah. How, you know, he conducts himself a certain way because he understands there's people watching.
Yeah.
You know,
not only people watching, bro. There's a reason why he carries himself a certain way. Because even when he's with JJ and
MFJJ and Scott Evans,
he don't cuss.
Yeah. And that's something that's
cuss on camera.
That's something that's like that's very.
He holds true to himself. Yeah, and they made fun of him for it. But
the whole F1 shitty.
Shitty.
And he would not say that.
Yeah.
He won't. And he explained to us why. You know, and he's got every damn good reason to do it. He wants kids to be able to look up to him and stuff and not see him being vulgar or anything like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of respect to that dude, man, for carrying himself the way he is, staying true
to himself.
The
way that he, you know, carried himself when we met him, and just hearing him talk and hearing his like point of view on a bunch of stuff and like his insight to the archery community and just like his take on like business situations that he's had to deal with, you know, and the way that he handled himself through that, it was like mad props, man. And that's one of the things too where like I see people gravitate towards that kind of content or that company because of the person behind the company. You know, like Ty Jordan's a good example of that. You know, he's coming up because he holds true to himself and he carries himself a certain way, and his content is fucking gorgeous, man. His cinematography and his camera work,
his legs,
his shorts,
short shorts. You know, his muscular biceps and chiseled chin.
That fucker's like handsome Squidward, bro.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And but it's
gay.
But it's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean. Honestly, dude, I never would have. This is not being like bandwagon shit, but anything. But I would never in my life ever thought that I would wear the color purple.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like I'll have a purple jacket now. You know, it's like purple's not a bad color. It's just like I was taught that it was a girl's color. but it's not really a bad color.
I'm getting some purple shorts for tech.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Some lavender?
Lavender.
Some little shorties.
some lilac.
I kind of feel like you need to either
go shorter.
No, not for you.
All right.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think I think you could go shorter without anything.
I asked the wife,
out.
how short is too short? She didn't answer. So
She said 5'7".
5'7".
6'7".
6'7". I mean, at the end of the day, watching all this content, watching influencers, you got to just do what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if, because I came, I held off because the price point. It's like, man, I can't see myself spending this kind of money on a bow that I got to restring. And I thought you had to restring it every year. But as long as you take care of your equipment, it's going to last.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now I see the benefit. I'm like, I have a dozen arrows. If I don't miss, I could use these dozen arrows for
a long time.
As long as they don't break or you keep up with them. But yeah, like I'll I hear you guys. I'm influenced honestly by you guys. The equipment you get and this and that, and I'm like, well, that's out of my price range. So if I have to shoot this, I'm gonna shoot it as good as I can.
Yeah.
Or the release or the arrows or whatever.
Shit. I mean, that's a good point too. I mean, we went out there a couple of times, and I'm with, my fancy fucking bougie shit, and you're beating the fuck out of me. And I'm like, God damn, shit. I'm like, man, give me back my bow.
Give me back my bow. But yeah, like that's what, I know there's some stuff that you shouldn't, like, buy once, cry once. For me now, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get cheap arrows. Because I've seen a difference between, like, say, just the Eastons I have compared to those ones that I had from Amazon. I'm like, dang, there's a big difference. Yeah. And then tuning it to you, because yesterday I was actually shooting. I had an old arrow. It was a 350 grain or the spine or whatever. And it was a 31-inch arrow. And I cut mine down to 27 and a half or something.
But even to that point, let's say you don't get crazy expensive arrows and you go in and you get something more affordable. Depending on the person, like I know Josh could get those arrows and make them fly better than the match grade. It's just aesthetically, how do you want it to look? With the match grade arrows that you get, you're primarily only cutting a little bit off. Unless you're me, and you have to cut half of the arrow off, because of my short ass draw length. But you cut from the front typically. I've had very few times have to cut from the back on a match grade arrow. But you can get a regular, like two. But you can get a regular arrow. Doesn't have to necessarily be something crazy like a hunter, or even some Amazon stuff. And as long as you build it, and take your time and weigh everything out, and you could still achieve the same effect, and the buy one and cry ones, it's everyone's different on that,
Arrow, yep.
So it's one of those things where it's like, it's buy one and cry once, but my buy one and cry once is different than Josh's, and Josh's is different than mine on certain things, like the woks and the Asian pastries and stuff. Like I don't know what that's about.
No, but this so when I shot that 31-inch arrow, it's just, this has nothing with influence or anything. It's just so it dropped about 6 inches, which kind of, like, I know it was say like 2 inches longer or something, but that affects it.
Yeah,
I was just like,
the
holy
weight.
crap.
Yeah, so
and it was straight.
Yeah,
as far as my side to side was good. Just the difference of the drop, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, and that's, you add length, it changes your FOC too, and then it also changes the spine, the flex.
Yeah,
so shorter arrows are stiffer, and then if you can't achieve a good stiffness in the actual shaft itself, you can add more weight up front.
Yeah,
and that takes a lot of that it makes your FOC a lot higher, but creates better stiffness, so your arrow flies a little bit better.
If you want a crazy
just pushing your weight out to the end.
Yeah, if you want a crazy video on arrow building, Josh Bomar does a like an hour, he has an hour long YouTube video on how he does his arrows, and it's crazy how detailed he gets into building an arrow. But he gets to the point where you can't even tell what arrow he's shooting because he acetones all the labeling off, and then weighs them, and then he marks them, and then he spinal lines everything. And he has obviously he has fancier tools for finding the spine and all that. But then he goes to knock tuning, and then he goes into wrapping, and he goes into fletchings and weighing them all out individually and making a pile for these weigh 2 grains, these were 3 grains, these were 2.5, and then he'll mix match them to get the exact weight on every single one, and they're all off by a couple of grams. And Josh has gotten pretty good at getting that pretty dang close. I try sometimes. And then sometimes I'm just like, yeah, fuck this. I'm putting these fuckers together.
It's a very tedious process, man. I mean, you gotta literally weigh everything and write everything down, and then there's a lot of math to it.
Yeah.
I have some match straight arrows. The FMJ matches are match straight. I had to cut 2 off the back.
Yeah.
Because they weren't straight.
I noticed that right away when he showed me the video, and I was like, hey, that looks.
Yeah.
Cut off the back.
Yeah, I cut it off the back, and the weights were different. They were almost. I cut 6. And 5 out of the 6 were like 297, 297.4, 297.6. There was one that was 295 and some change. Like, all right, now I got to find basically either veins that are a little bit heavier, or just figure out the configuration to make them all match. So whenever I'm done typically when I'm done in building arrows, they're all within a half a grain of each other, and that's to keep the accuracy. So no 2 arrows will fly any different.
Right.
They might need some knock tuning, but yeah, it's a long process, man. When you measure every single vein, your knock, your inserts, your the fill points, the wraps, everything matters on those things. So if you want to build like a very specific arrow, you can definitely do it.
Yeah, and what it comes down to basically is the match grade stuff and some of the higher price points in the arrows. It's a shortcut. So instead of doing all that work that Josh is doing, you already know off the rip these are straighter. And you still have to spin them, you still have to check them, but 10 out of the 12 are dead on. And the same thing for the match grade field points, the what is it, the mold injected veins from UltraView, like all that stuff. It's a higher price point, but it's a shortcut. It's all it is. It's a shortcut.
Yeah, you're just paying somebody else to do that stuff. You know, Adam's Precision, great work, man. But I know that in my mind, I can do it cheaper. You know what I mean? So the money I'm going to pay you to do it on top of the arrows, I can do that myself. And I've built, I don't know how many dozens and dozens of arrows. I built them for the school too.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, the glue, how much glue you use. I mean, everything's a fucking factor on those things. And I try to make it as accurate as possible. And,
but there's definitely schools of thoughts to that too. Like the way that Levi Morgan does his arrows versus the way that,
Tim
Gillingham versus the way that Chris B versus the way that John Dudley, Cameron Haynes, all of them do things different, and it's just, it goes back to what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah, it's just a lot of tinkering, man. Like what I'm playing with right now is I'm letting ChatGPT influence me into fucking building a custom arrow specifically for my bow at that draw weight, draw length, that arrow, that spine, and telling me where to be weight wise, length, helical, like what I mean, all the way down to like very specific specs. And the only thing I haven't done is the helical yet.
Yeah.
Even all the way down to which vein, which is kind of weird too, because it said I use the Max Stealth or the Q2i Fusion X2.
Nice.
And I have both, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to use the Stealth. The Stealth, my wraps are purple down from Thai, but I think I need to order some new veins. I got the green ones.
Yeah.
So instead of running the air razors, it just says it spins it better and it steers it a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 3D hunting hybrid arrow, so I can use them for both.
Nice.
So like, all right, we'll see what happens. Because I mean, I always thought lighter arrows with 3D, so the arc is different.
Right.
I mean, the arc isn't too different. It's no matter the distance. If you're off a yard, it's not going to matter. But 3D arrows, I guess, are supposed to be heavy, so that it doesn't get affected by the wind.
By
and
the
shit.
wind,
It's
especially
like,
down here.
Yeah.
You know, we
but
have
it's like there's a lot of variables to it, man. It just depends on what you're gonna do with it. It's like a bullet.
Yeah.
You know, what are you gonna do with a bullet? You're gonna shoot deer. You don't need a 200 grain bullet to shoot a deer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would work, but at
Yeah.
the same time, you're not gonna use a 120 grain bullet to go hunting out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so it's
different
just variables.
strokes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, and definitely there's that part of it, and then there's the aesthetic part of it. Like, you know, we talked about purple's Ty Jordan now.
Mm-hmm.
He's running a bunch of purple, and then you have like Crispy, he runs yellow.
Yeah, but I think he does it because of his name.
Yeah, because of the bee. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you have honeycombs and yellow, and then you have
Cheerios.
John Dudley, he runs like the flow green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those things where like you can spot a knock-on guy from a mile away because they're in that flow.
Yeah.
You know, flow green.
And their butt plug glows.
Their butt plug glows in the dark. Mine didn't turn on. That's why I was mad. I think they didn't need batteries. I don't know what happened.
It's a PSC quick disconnect right
quick
there.
disconnect. Yeah. Bluetooth compatible.
Dude, I was so proud of myself for coming out with that joke.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was a good one. That
Did
was
you
a
print
good
it?
No. I did print something in Flow Green today, though.
Did you?
I got a little case for the Woody's lube.
one. Oh shit! Hell yeah!
It's fucking dope. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lose that fucker no more.
Yeah. Heck yeah. But yeah, I mean, it basically what it comes down to is preference and just kind of what you're into, and kind of the same thing. I mean, every manufacturer, all the manufacturers nowadays are pretty good, and you're just kind of like, you know, Chevy versus Ford versus
And it goes down into a lot of shit, though, man. I mean, you can Vortex. So
Mhm.
I started with Nikons. I started with Bushnells.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, all right, these are good. I could see. And then you picked
Mhm.
up a pair of Vortex. Like, what the fuck?
yeah.
This is way
Yeah.
better.
Mm-hmm.
And then you picked up a pair of Swarovskis, and you're like, what the hell? It got even better.
Yeah.
And then you
Mhm.
pick up Zeiss, and it's like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
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 You know, to the point where it's like, you don't even know what your eyes are actually seeing
Yeah.
anymore.
Mhm.
You notice you need glasses or you're fucking blind
Mhm.
because these things are so damn clear.
Yeah. Yep.
Even what's that scope you bought? GPO?
Yeah.
The German products.
Mhm.
Super clear glass, dude. And it's like
Yeah. It's
I
like,
thought
oh,
glass
crap.
was just glass, and
Yeah.
apparently it's not.
No, it's not.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean, it's the craziest thing. And you do that, or your release options,
Yeah. Feel and
shoes,
material.
your hiking boots,
Mhm.
like
yeah.
thermos, fucking base
But
layer.
it's
like,
crazy because you can, like, you talked about Bushnell. Bushnell has a high end, you know, product. It's not as expensive as Vortex, but it performs. It's made to perform and compete with Vortex, with, you know, Sig and all that stuff. And it's
Yeah.
the same thing with Vortex. They're
The
top
one
of the
thing
ends.
I probably wouldn't get from Bushnell, and I don't know, maybe they've changed it now, but is a rangefinder.
Yeah, they're racist.
Yeah, doesn't range anything black.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. When you talk to the,
That's
owners.
craziest thing, but it didn't matter if it was 30 yards or 80 or whatever, it would not range black.
I think they
Really?
fixed that. You know,
I don't know.
I think they
What do
passed.
they do? They fucking turn it thermal?
No, I think they passed a couple of laws, equality, and you know.
Yeah, dude, they would not, dude. I could not pick up the black bear target, the javelina, the bat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Could not pick it up. It was black.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't think the color mattered. I thought it was the actual object. It's
Just to be clear, color doesn't matter.
It-
I mean,
If you
at
want to
least
change it
at least
into a
doesn't-
color
at least
matter,
doesn't
then-
matter to me. I don't know.
I
about
I don't
Josh.
know about Josh. All of a sudden,
Bushnell wouldn't range black, man.
Josh was like, I don't know, I was trying to range KFC and it wouldn't work.
All
I'll
right,
tell
all
you a
right.
quick story about KFC. I went there. This was a couple years back, and I rolled up. It was me and my son. Late night dinner, and we rolled up. She was like, "I'm sorry, sir. All we have is chicken." What the fuck? You're KFC, right? I didn't
Yeah,
come over here for hamburgers.
that's funny. But yeah, it definitely got to do your homework and kind of look at your options, and there's a price point for everybody, just like there is in automotives and
Mhm.
everything, you know.
Yeah.
Just get what you're comfortable with, shoot what you're comfortable with, and don't solely base your purchase on, you know, what you saw on Instagram or Facebook, because, you know, Ty shoots some pretty good video, man, and makes those fucking bows look pretty fucking badass. And then you go look at them in person, and you're like, that's not what it looked like on Instagram or on freaking TikTok.
My
it's like,
forearms
what the
don't
hell?
look like that.
Yeah,
I have no vein in my bicep.
But it definitely comes down to that. Just kind of look at your options and don't let yourself get dragged into the the machine of social media, and kind of make the decisions on what you purchase best for you.
That's the thing. Yeah, I think that's great advice, man. You can watch those videos and get a good feel for what the bow is, but take that with a grain of salt. If you're gonna get into archery, go into a shop, find out. And Ty said it in that podcast with MFJJ, and they kind of gave him some shit over it.
Yeah.
Because they're biased, and the white will shoot better because of the reflex. Go find the bow. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I like I shoot what I shoot because I like the way it feels.
The way it feels, yeah.
Because you like your carbon bows, but like somebody that doesn't like hand shock might not like it.
Yeah.
You
can definitely feel some.
There's pros and cons to everything, right? And there's ways to take it out, but it's what's best for you is not best for everybody else, or it won't be best for me. So I would say don't get influenced by what the marketing team is saying about, oh, this is the best bow of the year, because every year it's the best bow of the year. Every company has the best bow of the year.
Yep.
New revolutionized shit. Go out there and shoot a bow.
Yeah.
No matter the price point, if you can afford an expensive bow, shoot an expensive bow if you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to. If you're getting into the sport, go to Cabela's. Actually, go to your local shop and see what they have available. And if they don't have anything, you have, it doesn't need to be over $500 to get started into this game.
Definitely not.
And if you just want to, you should fucking recurve for like 180
on some like, I don't want to sound corny, but the most expensive thing is in this whole archery journey and hunting and archery in general is time.
It's time.
Invest some time into yourself, put some time aside for you, and get behind that bow and get some reps in, and it won't matter what bow you're shooting.
Right.
No, it really doesn't, man.
And that's one of the things that, we tend to forget is, we sell our time every day to the boss and the big conglomerate, or, everything that we do is for somebody. How often do you take some time for yourself and get behind the bow and put some reps in? Because I guarantee you do that, it won't matter what you shoot. It really won't. It really won't. You get comfortable with your equipment, you can go out there and smoke somebody and some high dollar shit, because you have more time behind that bow. You're comfortable with your equipment, your equipment, what it's capable of, its limitations, where it excels, you know it inside and out. And that's the best thing you can do,
Yep.
So that's like the one piece of advice that I would say is get behind the bow, get some reps in. Don't be like me and try to buy a new bow every year.
Blame the bow. Blame the bow.
And blame the equipment, because it's not. It's the time behind it. It's the time you spent, perfecting your craft and trying to get better. Because no amount of money can replicate that or make that better.
Nope. You're exactly right, buddy. You're exactly right. All the time and behind the bow, it all matters, man. Just get your reps in. That's one thing that every single archery influencer, quote unquote, person that they always say the same thing: get your reps in, day in, day out.
Yeah.
And if you don't, that's fine. You're not a piece of shit like some of those motherfuckers think you are. Just because you don't sit at their fucking coffee table and shoot your bow out the window, that's fine. But just try to get something, and it doesn't have to be far. Just get your reps in 5 yards in the hallway, bedroom, just to get through that anchor point. Everything.
Yeah.
It's literally getting your reps in. It's not about accuracy; it's just about repetition.
Yeah, and the repetition builds accuracy. It builds consistency. Repetition. Good repetition. Don't overexert yourself and try to be a fucking hero and do 100 arrows a day, or do the most arrows you can, being consistent, being accurate. And once you get tired, take a break.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. I mean,
and that's where Cameron started, man. It's like I come out here, I just shoot.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just one arrow. If it hits where I want to hit, I'll just pack it up and go home. You know, and it's like that's ideal. You know, you go out, you shoot your bow, and it's therapeutic.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Brody was talking about too on this podcast with Akshay was, you know, they asked him how many arrows do you put through your bow a day, and he's like, sometimes it's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
You know, and there's sometimes it's like 400 or 500 when I'm trying to figure something out. I can't figure it out. And that's the definition. That's the difference between your average archer and that type of, you know, talent. Because it's not just, he didn't just automatically good at it. He worked his ass off and got there. And, you know, the lessons you learn along the way and the equipment that you figured things out with. And it's just, it makes you better. And you're not going to learn that unless you start, you know, putting some time behind the bow.
Yeah, you got to experiment with it. You know, before you move anything, like if you're shooting dimes, man, before you move anything, I take a picture of my equipment. That way, I know if my experiment doesn't work, I can put it back the way it was, or close to it. There's a lot of variables to that, but if you're going to experiment, I mean, you have to shoot more than just a couple arrows.
Yep.
You know?
At first.
Yeah.
Yep. You know. And it'll tell you right then and there. I mean, I've tried some stuff, and then I'm like, nah, not for me. I'm not gonna do that.
What kind of stuff are we talking about?
Yeah. Butt stuff.
Throw it out there. Fuck you.
Like, yeah, it's not for me.
That's for the after show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Coleros After Dark. But no, it's definitely that, and it's just one of those things where it's just you kind of have to, you know, learn to not take everything as the gospel and whatever they say is how you're supposed to do it. Kind of get out there and experiment for yourself and make the mistakes, make the adjustments, tinker, and you know, eventually you figure it out. It's like everything else in life, you'll figure it out. And, you know, I remember my first day of work, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna fucking, you know, be able to do this. And then after a while, you're like, all right, I can do this. And then before you know it, then you're figuring stuff out. And hey, how'd you figure that out? And how you doing? Why are you doing it that way? It's like, oh man, it's faster and this is better. And oh shit, cool.
Yep.
You know.
Yes, sir. Well,
yeah,
we'll wrap it up there, boys.
I think we'll wrap it up, man. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right.
Link in my bio. Subscribe.